Okay, we good to go?
We're good to go, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Well, just really proud of our guys. Obviously, that was a hard-fought game, back and forth, momentum swings. We did talk about it was going to be a four-quarter game coming into the game. Going off of last year's, game against Cal came down the last minute. Our first couple games this year have come down to the fourth quarter. So really just proud and happy for these guys. They've been working really hard, continue to believe, and they compete for four quarters. Fire away.
On that note, Coach, what can finally winning a close game do for this team moving forward, their mentality, their belief, all that stuff?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you're trying to win the games, and these guys putting in this kind of effort to finally, get the result they're wanting. It definitely will help morale and whatnot. But these guys are resilient, and they understand it's tough to win. This league is tough. That's a good football team, and they, the disadvantage for their week one, and shoot, they had the same thing in week two in their second game. So winning's always big. That's what you're trying to do. And so we'll enjoy this tonight and then get ready for our next opponent on a short week.
Jonathan, you know better than anybody about the trials of a quarterback. Tristan, can you just speak about how he kind of just stuck in there and kept at it and finally persevered in this game?
Yeah, he's a tough kid now. He is. He did some good things tonight. Obviously, a couple of plays he'd like back. Knew that we needed to be better in the pass game coming off of our last game, and the guy went back to work. He's competitive. It means a bunch to him. And that's what you want in your quarterback, a guy who is resilient that way. It's not always going to be perfect play and just learning from mistakes and rallying back. And that's what he's done ever since he's been here.
You ever catch a touchdown pass?
No. They didn't trust my hands and my athletic ability to get open. So never got a chance to do it.
Lead us through that play. Obviously, you set it up with the run and then kind of the same play the other way. But why then, and how long you been working on that one?
Yeah, it goes to our play caller. I mean, Brian Lingren does a great job of calling plays in the right situations. It was something we worked on in practice. Felt like these guys, again, they're good on defense, and so it wasn't just going to be easy to score all the time. And so it's something we had rep before. Tyjon can throw it pretty well. And he actually makes a pretty good throw because there's a defender there that he has to kind of negotiate the throw. And obviously it worked.
Jonathan, you had some special plays on special teams today. Can you talk about the Bradford return and also another block punt for your special teams?
Yeah, no, it was huge. It was huge. Set up two short fields for our offense to get scores on. I think we've taken a step on special teams this year. Some of it is our athleticism. I think Caleb does a great job in regards to kicking and punting and the hang time that takes place. And so those were huge plays and made a difference in the game.
Jonathan, Josiah's had a hard time, getting on the field, and he comes up with this play that's, obviously the play of his career so far. I just wonder if you could just talk about how he's kind of persevered and stuck with it and made a play when you really needed it.
I know he's listed as a receiver and he's got talent at receiver, but he might be our best special teams player. I mean, the way he runs down on punt, and he's been doing it for a couple of years. And that was a huge play. It wasn't like we called a all-out block on that. He's just doing his job and believing that he's got a chance to make a play, and he changed the game.
McCartan comes up with that game-winning interception, but it looked like on the play before that he had pressure on Garbers too. Do you just kind of have a really big drive there? Yeah,
and again, I go back to the resilience of our team and our defense. A couple of tough calls to extend the drive, and then those guys kept believing, kept fighting. And ball tips up in the air, and we got to come down with that. And I believe it was Ham on the tip, and those guys make the interception. So we got a couple of turnovers in critical times.
Hey, Coach Keely Arnold had some big plays, and including in that final drive. I mean, that final drive by Cal, they just kind of marched down the field, but then you guys started to stiffen up, and then you got that big tip.
Yeah, but Keely, he had the short yardage stop earlier. And again, we're talking about a redshirt freshman who's playing for really a bunch for the first time, and proud of that guy. And again, we didn't play perfect football now. We got a bunch to clean up on both sides, even on special teams. But again, these guys keep fighting, understanding that it's going to be a 4-quarter fight. And really, we won the game in the 4th quarter.
Jonathan, statistically, it was one-sided at halftime. How did you feel about the first half? Did you just feel like you survived it and were able to maybe get something going in the second half? Or?
I think that's, surviving it, that word describing it, pretty similar. Again, there was no panic. We understood that, again, we hadn't played our best football. We're down 6. Understanding this game was going to get into the 4th quarter, keeping it close. I did think we made some great adjustments offensively and defensively. I think we started the second half, got a couple of stops. I think we scored on our first 2 possessions to take the lead. And just knowing that this was going to come down in the 4th quarter.
You guys didn't have Ham or Sandberg for a lot of that second half. Was it just kind of an overall gritty effort by the defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually a mutual effort defensively. There's 11 guys out there having to do their job. And again, we rotate a bunch at D-line, outside linebackers. We rotated a little bit in the secondary. And so it was a group effort. They didn't play flawless football. Obviously, you look at the yardage, you look at the time of possession. We got ability to get off the field on 3rd down. We got to clean up. But again, these guys just kept on swinging.
How much of a shot in the arm was that defensive effort in the second half?
Yeah, it was big. Getting some stops, like I'm saying, to be able to rally back. We turned the ball over and on the interception, and that can be devastating. Those guys kept on fighting. We got a mantra of like, make them snap it again, and that's kind of what we did defensively, and came up with the turnover.
It seemed like Tristan was starting to put some really good things together in the second half, and then he throws that second interception. What did you say to him, and what did he kind of see there?
Yeah, you're going to have to ask him. I haven't talked to him after that play. But again, I go back to the resilience of him and how much this means to him. Appreciate the effort. And that's the type of kid you want playing for you, is the guy that loves football, and this means a ton to him. Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, everyone.